Good evening. Tutor John, tonight's question is about slope. The student asks, how do I find the slope of a line that goes through the point -1, comma -12, and through a second point, 9, comma 68? So the question here really is, what is slope? And slope is defined as the change in y divided by, or sometimes called over, the change in x. Sometimes you might hear this expressed as the change in rise over the change in run, right? So we would have here the change in rise from one point to the next, and here on this line we would see the change in run from one point to the next. So before we get started, let's go ahead and just establish that the first point we're going to look at, or in other words, x sub 1 and y sub 1, are the points given in the problem, -1, comma -12. And the second set of points, x sub 2, comma y sub 2, is the second set of points given in the problem. Then we need to know the slope formula. And the formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what is this? Y2 minus y1, well, that tells us the change in rise. And x2 minus x1, well, that tells us the change in run. So when we start substituting in, we're simply going to look up here, find the correct numbers, and substitute them in. So the slope of y2, well, y2 is 68 minus, what is y1? -12. So 68 minus -12 over x2. x2 is 9 minus, x1. What is x1? -1. So 9 minus -1. Well, if we go ahead and simplify, 68 minus -12 is positive 80, and 9 minus -1 is positive 10. Simplify even further, 80 over 10 is the same as 8 over 1. So in other words, we have a rise of 8 for every change in run of 1. And if we think about 8 over 1, that's simply the whole number 8. So the slope of the line given through here in our problem is a slope of 8. So what does that mean? We're changing x. I'm going to go ahead and draw that line for you, or a sample of that line segment. If I start here, if I just make this any random point on this line, it would mean, let me start with the right pointer, it would mean that if I start here and I go up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm going to have a run of 1, right? Look at that. That's a pretty steep line. It's amazing. A nice slope of 8 there to answer our problem. Very good. Have a great evening. Take care, and I'll see you next time.